Hello and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to take a look at some of my favourite Halloween and spooky season things. So we've got some food, some books and some DVDs. And first I wanted to look at these stickers that I got. Where did I get them? Can't remember. Don't think it says on there. But it says just on here, treats not sweets. So this is a nice little idea if you want a little treat for the trick-or-treaters. Instead of giving out sweets, you can give out stickers. So there's a little pumpkin sheet here, and then there's another sheet here of like cutie little characters. So you've got a mummy here holding a pumpkin, little spider, little friendly ghost, and a nice bubbly cauldron. So they're really cute. And then the last one here is cats, little spooky little Halloween cats, and they've got a nice little holographic background. I have used some of these already. It was my brother's dog's birthday on the weekend, so we had a little birthday party for the dog. We made a card and we stuck some stickers on there. So, should we peel one off? I don't know where we would stick it. Maybe I'll just peel it off and re-stick it. So there we are. The background is very sparkly. Lovely little cauldron. I'll just stick it back where it was. But I do love collecting stickers, so these are really cute. So that was my first thing I wanted to show you. Next, I think we will move on to the food. I don't really like sweets and like gummy candy or hard candy. I prefer chocolate. So I always tend to get these little Halloween chocolates, and like at Christmas time I like to get the little Christmassy shaped chocolates. So these are milk chocolate pumpkins by Sainsbury's. I think I will open this bag. Here. There he is. Happy little pumpkin man. Let's see what he looks like. Because really, you should test the chocolate before you give it to anyone else. So there he is, just a chocolate ball. They're very nice. They won't last very long. Next up I have some Mr. Kipling Exceedingly Good Cakes. 8 Fiendish Fancies. These are really yummy. It's an orange flavour sponge with a delicious vanilla topping, drenched in orange coloured fondant icing. These are really yummy. So let's take a look in here. So there they are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little cakes. So here it is, and I'll take a little bite just to show you what they're like inside. So they have a little case. They're really yummy. So there's a sponge filling here and a little bit of cream up here, and then the fondant icing and drizzled with chocolate. They're very, very yummy, but very sweet. So I think that's why they're so small. So I'll just pop these away. Okay, so next I'm going to move on to the books. So I'll just start here. First one we have here is From Here to Eternity by Caitlin Doherty. Travelling the world to find the good in death. And I have another book from her, which is this one here. Will my cat eat my eyeballs? Big questions from tiny mortals about death. And I do have her first book, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, but I've lent it to my sister, and now I think my mum has it, and I don't know. So I'll get it back eventually. So this is Praise for Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. So that was her first book. A hilarious, poignant and impassioned plea to revolutionise our attitudes to death. I'll just read the inside here. As a practicing mortician, Caitlin Doherty has long been fascinated by our pervasive terror of dead bodies. In From Here to Eternity, she sets out in search of cultures unburdened by such fears. In rural Indonesia, she observes a man clean and dress his grandfather's mummified body. She meets Bolivian, I don't want to butcher that word, cigarette-smoking, wish-granting human skulls, and discovers the Japanese ritual of, I don't want to butcher that word either, in which relatives use chopsticks to pluck their loved one's bones from cremation ashes. With curiosity and morbid humour, Doherty introduces us to inspiring death care innovators, participators in powerful death practices amongst entirely unknown in the West, and explores new spaces for mourning, including a futuristic glowing Buddha columbarium in Japan, a candlelit Mexican cemetery, and America's only open-air pyre. In doing so, she expands our sense of what it means to treat the death with dignity and reveals unexpected possibilities for our own death rituals. There she is there. So I haven't read this book in a while. I might have to reread it, I think, because it was very interesting. And I'll have to get the book back off my mum because I would like to read that again. And this one is full of questions about death. Let's see if we have... Can I preserve my dead body in amber like a prehistoric insect? Will my body sit up or speak on its own after I die? Can I keep my parents' skulls after they die? What would happen to an astronaut body in space? When I die, will my cat eat my eyeballs? So I do really like this book as well. It's informative but light-hearted, I would say. So I'll just pop these back there. The next one here is Corrupt Bodies, Death and Dirty Dealing in a London Morgue. The dead do not rest in peace, but in pieces. Such was the exclamation made by Mortuary Superintendent Peter Everett in 1983 to a rapt courtroom as he exposed the archaic conditions in which he was working and the corruption and abuse of the system that was taking place right under his nose. The words would fill the next morning's headlines, but would do little to halt the debasement of the death industry that he was witnessing. This book was very good. Some pictures here. Exterior view of Southwark Mortuary. Peter Everett with the contents of his murder bag. Bodies for sale claim. Glands sold for 25p, mortuary chief says. Scandal of gem thefts from the dead. Body cash snatch case. Man robbed corpses. Ghoul stole from the dead. Woman stole from bodies. I do really like the cover of this one. Another mortuary related book. This is Carla Valentine, Past Mortems, Life and Death Behind Mortuary Doors. One of the loudest, liveliest and brashest advocates for confronting our modern day taboo of death. The cover artwork on this is really nice. I'll just read the back here. A fascinating portrait, one seriously interesting read. A day in the life of Carla Valentine, curator, pathology technician and death professional, is not your average day. She spent 10 years training and working as an anatomical pathology technologist, where the mortuary slab was her desk and that day's corpses her task list. Past Mortems tells Carla's stories of those years, as well as investigating the body alongside our attitudes towards death, shedding light on what the living can learn from the dead and the toll the work can take on the living souls who carry it out. Fascinating and insightful, Past Mortems reveals the truth about what happens when the mortuary doors swing shut or the lid of the coffin closes. I am my heart's undertaker. Daily I go and retrieve its tattered remains, place them delicately into its little coffin, and bury it in the depths of my memory, only to have to do it all again tomorrow. Emily Autumn, The Asylum for Wayward Victorian Girls. Advanced Decay. Let's see what the this was a good book. It was a good read. This one next. This is also, I believe, was she a mortuary worker? All That Remains, A Life in Death by Sue Black. This book is a little bit tattered because I read it and I would take it to work with me. I really love this book. Sue Black confronts death every day. As a professor of anatomy and forensic anthropology, she focuses on mortal remains in her lab, at burial sites, at scenes of violence, murder and criminal dismemberment, and when investigating mass fatalities due to war, accident or natural disaster. In All That Remains, she reveals the many faces of death she has come to know, using key cases to explore how forensic science has developed and examining what her life and work have taught her. Part memoir, part science, part meditation on death, her book is compassionate, surprisingly funny, and it will make you think about death in a new light. There's some pictures here. Description of remains. The man from Balmore is a missing person, and these were some of the items that he had on. Polo shirt, a cardigan, jeans, briefs, trainers, socks. Kosovo. True identity theft is not financial, it's not in cyberspace, it's spiritual. Them bones. There is something about a closet that makes a skeleton terribly restless. Death up close and personal. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. So there's that book. Last book I have here is Necropolis London and Its Dead. Entertainment of the most garish and exquisite kind. I can't read that. Don't know what that says. By Catherine Arnold. Enthusiastic, good-humoured and constantly engaging. Grimly entertaining, Arnold's book abounds in deliciously uncanny detail. Poignant or dramatic figures crowd these pages, from swindling Victorian spectators to expiring infants, from the grandest of royals to the most pathetic of executed criminals. Layer upon layer of London soil reveals burials from prehistoric and medieval times. The city is one giant grave, filled with the remains of previous eras. The Houses of Parliament sit on the edge of a former plague pit. St. Paul's is built over human remains. Underground tunnels were driven through forgotten catacombs thick with bones. A society can be judged by the way it treats its dead, and this is especially true of London. From Roman burial rites to the horrors of the plague, from the founding of the great Victorian cemeteries to the development of cremation and the cult of mourning that surrounded the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, Necropolis leaves no headstone unturned in its exploration of our changing attitudes towards the deceased among us. Catherine Arnold romps around the cemeteries, plague pits, and tumuli of the capital in her survey of London's stiffs. Luminous and often touching details crowd these pages, well researched and elegantly written. This was a really good, interesting book. It was fascinating hearing how, when they were like building the tube, they would just come across plague pits, just thousands and thousands of bodies buried, and then in some cases they just keep going. So this is a map here of London in the 1880s, and I think this book goes over the creation of the big cemeteries, because they were just running out of room to bury people, especially in London. There we go. And I have visited Highgate in London, and it is amazing. So if you ever get a chance to go to any of the big cemeteries in London, they are fascinating, the Victorian cemeteries. So next I'm going to go over the DVDs that I like to watch in spooky season. So the first one we have here is It. I am a bit creeped out by Pennywise, but I do really like the film, because I like the childhood nostalgia, and I don't really like very, very spooky films, but yeah, this is about as spooky as I would go, I think. It. I do like this cover. I couldn't have that on display like that, I'd be too scared. So I'll just pop it by there. Next is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I was actually watching this last night. I find it more of a Christmas film than Halloween. It would be nice if they did it like just a Halloweeny one, because it is quite, it's nice, the ambience. But yeah, I have bought a few DVDs over the years, and now most things are on the streaming sites, but it's nice to have a hard copy. Practical Magic. I love this film so much. Fun and excitement abound in the Owens family of wily witches. One problem though, the men that Owens women fall in love with are doomed to an untimely death. I love Sandra Bullock in this film, and I love the witches. I do really like to watch American Horror Story as well in spooky season, especially Coven. I do like that series season. Another favourite is Hocus Pocus. If you've watched Hocus Pocus 2, let me know what you think, because I did not like it. I don't know if I was just being picky, but I love Hocus Pocus. Hollywood superstar Bette Midler joins Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy, I can't pronounce her second name, as three outlandishly wild witches who return from 17th century Salem for a night of zany fun and comic chaos. Next we have the Addams Family. I don't have Addams Family values. So I need to try and add that to my collection. There they are on the front. The Creepy and Kooky original movie. Looking for something creepy, spooky, kooky, and altogether ooky? And I didn't realise until yesterday that this is the same actor from Back to the Future. Am I just being so dumb? And here we have again Christina Ricci, Casper. Some of these films you can't get on the streaming services like when you want them, so it is always good to have them on DVD, because I think Casper and Elf, I always wanted to watch Elf and it wasn't on any of the streaming sites, so I got it on DVD after. Charming family film full of frantic fun. Oh, and there's ghostly fun features, feature commentary, behind the scenes documentary, deleted musical sequence featuring never heard before song Lucky Enough to Be a Ghost, interactive menu games in Casper's Playroom, DVD-ROM funhouse activities and games with printable components. That sounds fun. I always loved the scene where she's in the chair and it goes on the track. That was my favourite scene in that film. Next we have Sleepy Hollow. I love this film so much. The end kind of does creep me out with the Headless Horseman. But it is a Tim Burton film. I didn't realise that. Heads will roll. Oh yes, Christina Ricci again. 3 in a row. Johnny Depp, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Pirates of the Caribbean, stars as Ichabod Crane, a man who has to confront the legend of the axe-wielding Headless Horseman in order to win the heart of Katrina Van Tassel. Set in 1799, Sleepy Hollow is based on Washington Irving's classic tale, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Faithful to the dreamy, custom-bound world that Irving paints in his story, the film mixes horror, fantasy and romance, and features an extraordinary cast of characters who dabble in the supernatural. I would love to visit Sleepy Hollow. It's one of my dream destinations. But if I don't get the chance to, there is a walkthrough on YouTube that I always watch. I can't remember the name of the channel right now. I think I have it in one of my saved watch later or something, one of my playlists. But he takes a walk around Sleepy Hollow, goes to the cemetery, and it's just a lovely walkthrough video. The leaves are all orange, it's Halloween time and there's pumpkins out. It's just, it feels like you're there, but you're in the comfort of your own home. So if there's any way that I could link that, I'll try. Next we have The Craft. I absolutely love this film. I'm going to say that for all of these films because they are my favourites. And this is such a film of the time. What year is it? Can you see that on here? 2007, 1996, I don't know which. Anyway, around that time. Imagine if you could make anyone love you, look more beautiful, or punish your enemies just by casting a spell. Sarah is a 17-year-old with a troubled past, uprooted by her parents and moved to LA, where she begins the final year at St. Benedict's Academy. Sarah is a lonely stranger until she meets a brigade of black lipstick and nails. Nancy, Bonnie, and Rochelle. This is such a cozy, spooky, witchy film. So I look forward to watching that again. Next, I have Sweeney Todd. This is Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. It's a Tim Burton film, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street. And it is a musical. And I love the music. I have it saved on my Spotify. I just listen to it sometimes. The tale of a 19th century London barber with revenge on his mind and a blade in his hand has it all. Blood, mystery, romance, wit, exhilarating music and stunning visual design. Co-stars Helena Bonham Carter, Alan Rickman and Sacha Baron Cohen add more menace to the masterpiece as Sweeney's partner and victims in crime. Need a shave? A close shave? Sweeney's waiting. If you haven't seen this, I do recommend it. I love it. Next, we have What Lies Beneath. And it's a spooky case. I think I got most of these from Music Magpie, maybe, so they're all like second hand, because some of them are quite hard to get. If we just take a look here on the back, definitely the scariest film you'll see this year. I think I remember watching this as well when I was little at a sleepover, and I was just terrified. But now it's like a comfort film. It had been a year since Dr. Norman Spencer betrayed his beautiful wife Claire, but with Claire oblivious to the truth and the affair over, Norman's life and marriage seem perfect. So perfect that when Claire tells him of hearing mysterious voices and seeing a young woman's ghostly image in their home, he dismisses her mounting terror as delusion. That's a bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen the film. Next up we have Beetle Juice. And there is a new film, obviously, Beetle Juice number 2. So I find Beetle Juice is a little oversaturated at the moment. I work in a store and we've got a lot of Beetle Juice merchandise, so I don't think I'll be watching this year, because it's just everywhere. What's a yuppie ghost couple to do when their quaint New England home is overrun by trendy New Yorkers? They hire a freelance bioexorcist to spook the intruders, and everyone gets more than he, she, or it bargained for. It's another Tim Burton film. And there they are on the house. And the last film we have here is The Witches. Saving the world from witches is a tall order for a boy. They've turned into a mouse. I loved this film when I was little. I still love it now. Angelica Houston. as the is it called the Grand High Witch? She's called. Yeah, Angelica Houston won the Los Angeles and National Society of Film Critics Best Actress Awards for her marvelous work as the Grand High Witch. This really spooked me out when I was little, when they banished the little girl into the painting. Oh my gosh, that really scared me. But it probably actually still spooks me. Okay, so here I have the Scream Trilogy. Ooh. Don't answer the phone. Don't open the door. Don't try to escape. So here we have Scream. And I love the first Scream. I watched it the other day, so now I need to watch Scream 2 next. And then Scream 3. There are other Screams, aren't there? But I've only got these. I've only got the trilogy. Put them back in there. Let's see what it says on the back. Crime report. Assault offences. Aggravated assault, an unlawful attack by one person upon another, wherein the offender uses a weapon or displays it in a threatening manner, or the victim suffers obvious, severe or aggravated bodily injury involving apparent broken bones, loss of teeth, possible internal injury, severe laceration or loss of consciousness. The Scream Trilogy is a landmark in modern filmmaking. This film series single-handedly revived and reinvented the horror genre in the 90s. I remember when it came out, my brother had this mask and he would scare my little sister. The last DVD here is a box set, Jonathan Creek, series 1, 2, 3, 4 and the Christmas specials. I absolutely love Jonathan Creek, and it is on BBC iPlayer, but I wanted to have it I wanted the DVD just in case it ever gets taken off, and I found it in a charity shop for £6.95. It just has the episode names on the back. The one that I absolutely scared the life out of me was the one where the man had died in a basement or something, and then someone goes to open the basement door and he's at the top of the basement he's at the top of the stairs with his hand outstretched. That one still scares the life out of me. So yeah, this is the first series. There's Alan Davis and Caroline Quentin, and the episodes on here are The Wrestler's Tomb, Jack in the Box, Reconstituted Corpse, No Trace of Tracy, The House of Monkeys. So yeah, there we are. That was a real good find in the charity shop. So there we are, we've looked at all my favourite Halloween things, my favourite DVDs and my favourite books. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you did. And I hope you have a very enjoyable spooky season and a happy Halloween. Thank you for watching.